This is the Lowco Sports Lowdown podcast. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr.
Hey, Lowco Sports fans, welcome to another edition of the Lowco Sports Lowdown, Wednesday night edition. We thought we might have a rainout night. We had a few things moved around on the schedule. Those baseball and softball fields are still a little soggy, but we got a lot of stuff in tonight. I mean, there wasn't a ton on the schedule, but there's plenty to talk about, and we've got some great guests lined up to help us make sense of everything as well, including the star of the diamond last night, Ross Putnam from JP2 through the no-hitter. We talked about it last night with Max Raj. We got him in the green room. He's backstage ready to talk with us about that. Excited to talk with him. Got Marcus Walsh popping by to give us a report from the ground at the Darius Rucker Intercollegiate. I watched it on TV the last couple of days. I was able to watch a little bit. Arizona State pulling it off today in a Donnybrook. It was like the 4 or 5 teams at the top are right in there. It was a one-shot difference. And Arizona State came through. So Marcus was out there a good bit this week, I think. So he'll be able to fill us all in on that. And then we'll get into a little depth of what happened tonight, including Bluffton finishing the sweep of Buford in baseball. We'll talk with Ross about that too, because he knows all those guys. He played with them growing up. But that's a nice sweep for Bluffton. Martucci was really good tonight. We'll watch a little bit of highlights from May River Buford girls lacrosse that was on Buford's own. May River won that 10-4. And we'll dig a little bit deeper into this headline later and watch some highlights. But Janiah Hayward named Peach Belt Women's Basketball Freshman of the Year, joining Marcus Overstreet for a Sand Shark sweep for the Freshman of the Year awards. And Hampton County's Kayvon Chisholm and Bluffton's Jelena Mosley named to the South Carolina Basketball Coaches Association North-South All-Star Game rosters. So some good headlines there on the hoops front.
Yeah, hoop season may be over, but great to see some of our Lowco squads accumulating some well-earned accolades from USCB. Man, to sweep the Freshman of the Year, first year program. I mean, what more can you say about the job that they did? We talked about a couple of potential candidates that could have been honored for this award. I think we mentioned Michaela Primo's name at one point, but it was actually Hayward that got the nod. She was a really underrated standout and was important to what the USCB was able to do for that women's basketball squad. And really revolved around her rebounding, her scoring, the way she hustled up there and played defense. So a lot of great factors as to why she was so important, and just a really awesome honor for her and a reflection of the entire team for what they're able to do this year. And Overstreet and Hayward, what a duo. And one way, I mean, that's as good as you can get as a first-year program. It's got to be rare to see that happen. Both
right, yeah.
First year.
I mean, if nothing else, you got 2 really good recruiters because they went out and plucked diamonds from the rough and got them to buy into a first-year program, and they both were Freshmen of the Year. Now, I mean, I guess the one caveat I would say to that is, like, it's probably kind of like there's not a lot of programs that are in a position to have both Freshmen of the Year because not a lot of programs have freshmen playing as bigger roles as these teams did in their first year. So, you're kind of uniquely set up for it, but nonetheless, it's pretty incredible. We certainly couldn't have predicted that going into the season.
Yeah. I mean, you have an advantage somewhat, but there's always a lot of talented freshmen come in, and to have both of them, that's no gimme. That's no guarantee. And you got to earn it, and they really did.
Well, and I think it also indicates some of the respect that they earned across the league too, because the coaches presumably vote on this, so they earn some respect. They recognize game, right? Speaking of which, we'll talk about it a little later about the Peach Belt tournament and everything. But number 8 knocking off number 1 on the men's side.
It's madness season.
So, March Madness, baby. But it's no-hitter season too. Early in the season, you get some of those lopsided matchups. You got the ace going midweek because you got a light schedule, and he mows them down. And that's what happened last night with JP2. Had Ross Putnam on the mound against First Baptist, a team that didn't have a whole lot of offensive firepower, and he was feeling good, and he no-no'd them. So let's get him in here to tell us more about it. What's up, Ross? How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are y'all?
I'm doing well, man. I was talking to you a little bit before we got rolling here, and just talking about watching all you guys that I remember seeing around Oscar Fraser Park and stuff, all growing up and contributing, and Steven even started to catch up to you because you got a little brother on the team now. But tell me about last night. I mean, the third time you told me you've had one each year at JP2, third one of your high school career. We had to go 5 because the guys put up enough runs to get you out of there early, but it sounded like you're ready to go a couple more if you needed to.
Yeah, I was feeling good. Change up was on, which was good. But everyone overall played a pretty good game. I had a lot of good defense behind me. And Jackson Riley, another young guy, was catching that game. He's a freshman this year.
Yeah.
This is his first year on varsity, and he did a hell of a job. So yeah, everyone around me was killing it too. So it was kind of good.
How about your bro?
Oh yeah, Talon. I think he went 3 for 4 last night. So yeah, he had a pretty big night too. Just a lot of good stuff. He's been doing good this season. He'll be promising for sure.
It's really
yeah,
cool.
He's already got a full-on Chris Berman style nickname too. He's "Do the chickens have large talons?" Putnam. That's his nickname.
Yeah.
I told Coach, every time I look at your box scores, I think of Napoleon Dynamite. Do the chickens have
awesome.
large talons?
Yeah, that's funny.
Well, did you have a question, Wes? I just had to interject my joke.
Ross, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, man.
I mean, 3 no-hitters. I mean, just getting one is a huge accomplishment at the high school level, but picking up 3 is really special. Just reflect on that and your career so far and what it means to rack up these no-nos for GP2.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely good. With our program growing the way it is, it's nice to kind of have something that we can use as a stepping stone in the right direction. And every year we're kind of getting better, so it's always nice for that. And every year, I get back on the field and I have even better defense behind me. It was super cool because I didn't even when I went to school today, I didn't even really think about it too much until I got there, and all the coaches were kind of freaking out about it. So, yeah, I mean, it's a good feeling for sure. It gives me a lot of hope for the future of the program too, which is real good. So yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, and then you mentioned Jackson Riley, who he kind of got thrown in the fire last year and had to play some catcher at the varsity level as an 8th grader. But like you said, the growth that you see from year to year when you put those young players in those situations that they may not really be ready for at the time, but you let them grow into it, man, you see big leaps. So, tell us a little bit more about some of the young guys that have had to grow up fast and are now contributing. Obviously, Talon, Logan Cotter's been, a key contributor. Just tell us about shout out some of your boys.
Well, I mean, a lot of the guys are young. So Talon and Jackson, this is their first full years on varsity. So, I mean, obviously both of them are really talented kids. And, I mean, I'm sure y'all will be covering on them, more and more as the years go on when they do their thing. But I'm pretty sure, let's see. So, yeah, our entire infield is all sophomores. So we got a new guy, Spencer Murphy at 3rd. Well, last night he DH'd for me, but we kind of move it around depending on where everyone's playing. So we got him. He's new this year. He transferred from May River, which is great because with pitching it gives us pretty much just an extra guy we can put anywhere. He's really versatile, always gets the job done. Good kid too. He's really awesome to have. And Garrett, he's been playing awesome. He's made some amazing plays this season. He actually made a really good play last night that it was really, really good. He let's see, what was it? I threw a change up. The kid was real out in front of it and just kind of knocked one in the air, ran up to it, got it, and then quickly flipped it over to the base because the kid wasn't ready for it and he didn't tag up. So turned a little double play that kind of
nice.
saved saved what could have potentially been a run. But yeah, that was big. Really, really high IQ play. Y'all talked about Logan. He's been getting better and better every year. And then Archer DeWig. He's a kid that y'all are gonna have to be looking out for because that kid is legit. He's so fundamental and just always gives 100% of effort every single play, and it's nice to have people behind me like that. Definitely gives me.
He's pretty tough from the left side on the mound too, right?
Yeah, he's got some good stuff. He's always on. He's always doing his thing. Great kid, great family. His mom's a photographer too, so she gets our pictures done and stuff. So yeah, everything about him and that whole squad are real good people to have on the field with me. So yeah,
man.
It's got to be really nice to have that realization that the defense is going to have your back when the opponent puts balls in play, and when you pitch to contact like that, sometimes they're going to knock balls in play, but you just to gain that trust that your defense is going to be there most times than not to scoop up the ball or grab the fly out. So just talk about the trust you have on the defense and how that kind of plays into how you perform out there in the mound and pitch to contact.
Yeah, so I mean, defensively this season, knock on wood, but let's see, we played 5 games so far, and in these 5 games, we haven't had a single defensive error. So, I mean, if you really think about that, that's pretty wild.
That's remarkable.
It's really it's legit. Like these kids have been putting in some work. And I mean, like I said, every year, everyone in this program, they're always improving. It's getting to that point where we're starting to get some kids that are pretty talented. So yeah, we've been defensively, this has been a solid year for us so far.
Well, and they gain confidence too. A little bit of success goes a long way, and they gain confidence and play with a little more swagger. But you guys definitely will be up against it in your region. I mean, it looks like it's going to be super competitive. Hilton Head Christian obviously has a ton of talent on that roster. Hilton Head Prep the same, and they're always just a pain in the butt to play. They just they just grind you the whole game and find ways. So, handicap the region a little bit for us as far as, who you kind of see as the team to beat and where you see yourself in the mix and what kind of the game plan is to try to sneak in there.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I just take it one game at a time. And, if I'm playing Christian, if I'm playing Prep, or if I'm playing a team that's not as competitive, I just go into it with the same mindset. For the most part, pretty much everyone on that Christian team is one of my good friends that I've grown up with. So I kind of know where they're at talent wise. They
like you were at signing day.
What was that?
You were at all the signing days at all the other schools.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's interesting because all of us, a lot of us played travel ball together as kids, and all spread out to different schools now. So we're all kind of supporting each other. But yeah, I mean, like you were saying that, I think both Prep and Christian got solid squads, and I think they're both teams that we need to be after. And I'm not looking at one more than the other. I'm just kind of taking it game by games and seeing what happens. So
yeah,
they're very different teams too.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
But Hilton Prep coming up next week on Monday. You guys will host the Dolphins to South Region play. So just give me a rundown of that matchup and what you're looking for from your team against a Dolphins squad that has been contending every single season here in season, and they're always a tough out.
Yeah, they're a tough out. Chris Wells, that's their coach. He always he always puts together a good squad and has them prepared. And I mean, I think it's going to be fun, and I think that our team is as confident as they should be going into that matchup, which is real nice. I think everybody will go into that matchup feeling good. Everybody's been hitting well, everybody's been fielding well, and I think we just need to not overthink it and just do what we can do.
How much did it help to get that one against Hilton Head Christian at the end of last year? Because that was kind of like a
was
felt
big.
like kind of a watershed win, like especially for some of those young guys. That felt like a big growing moment.
Yeah, that was big. It had been a while since we had beat them, so to do that, it's nice to have that one in the books, to talk about. But I mean, it kind of just leads the way for the path, make these kids, all these kids that have been playing varsity from a young age. We were so young last year. I mean, things like that are kind of the building blocks of like their confidence and kind of gets everybody in the mindset to realize like, okay, we really can do this. So
Yeah, the belief is half the battle, and sometimes more of it. You
Oh, yeah.
can buy it together, and I think we're really seeing that a lot of these different schools, but especially with you guys at GP2. But tell me a little bit more about your game on the mound. You mentioned the changeup has been effective, but just how has the pitching arsenal been for you as you kind of look to find your groove coming off that no-hitter and continue on the season?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I would say I'm probably the most relaxed I've ever been out there, just based upon now being signed and getting all that out of the way. It's nice. The changeup last night, I didn't even throw my breaking ball last night. I just the changeup was what was working, and I just went fastball changeup. And that's kind of the way it goes. I just get on the mound, and whatever I'm feeling, I'll just kind of roll with it, and just kind of take it inning by inning, and just kind of see what happens. But yeah,
well, I mean, if they're not hitting the fastball or the changeup, there ain't no sense fooling with anything else.
yeah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's kind of the the thought behind it.
You like to get ahead. You like to pound the zone, get ahead, pitch to contact kind of guy. I mean, obviously, you get them to 2 strikes. You want to punch them out, right?
All I'm focused on is just giving us the best shot we can to win. So, however, I got to create outs. Maybe one day I'll have my stuff on. I'll get a big strikeout day. Maybe I'm not. Then I got to pitch to contact, whatever. Just get the outs, win a baseball game. That's all I'm thinking.
Throw strikes.
That's right.
Pound the zone, let the defense take care of itself, and you're gonna do pretty well, as you've shown this year. But man, it's been cool to watch you and this JP2 team, and it's also been cool to see you guys perform at the club level, travel baseball, because that's been an important factor of your career. So just describe the experience of playing with some of these other guys from other schools in club baseball and how that's kind of helped you grow as a player and get to have these new friendships. And then you in the spring, it's kind of it's weird because you're going up against them, but then in travel ball you're playing with some of them. So describe that other experience, complementing what you do at the high school game.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've switched around a couple of travel teams in the the past few years, but I mean, this recent year I spent 6 months out of the year playing baseball with Tannen. I'm sure y'all know Tannen Mankowski. Y'all were at his day. That's a guy, for an example. Like, I mean, outside of baseball, me and him are we're like brothers. But it's interesting because like you said, we'll go play 6 months out of the year together, travel around, hop in each other's cars, go drive 8 hours, do all that stuff, and then high school season rolls around. And now we're all spread out going to each other's games when we don't have games. That I kind of like it though, because it's cool. It's cool because like it's gotten to a point now where as big as the competition is in the area, it's weird because at the same time we're all friends. So it's like,
right.
It's like it's like a rivalry, but at the same time, I see these guys. I'm like, off the field. We're all like brothers, so it's interesting. Sure.
That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. I mean, it's the same in the big leagues. I mean, look at those guys. When one of those guys retires and they do their farewell tour, and everybody, is hugging on them and dapping them up, it's like they're all buddies too. There's a mutual respect there that's earned through going through the battles together, whether it's you win some, you lose some, but there's like that mutual respect that's earned, and you get to know each other and respect each other and cheer for each other when you're not playing against each other. And it's a beautiful thing, man. But you've been terrific over there. You're going to Brevard? Am I right?
Brevard College, yes, sir.
Yeah. So going up, following Hayden Jennings, our buddy, he played some men's league with me a while last year. So tell us about how that came about and what you're excited about at Brevard.
Yeah. Well, Richard Jennings, his dad is he's the assistant coach at the school. He's kind of the guy who pretty much built our field and kind of built our program in a way. Really
loyal viewer as well. Loyal viewer of the show. He's a loyal viewer of the show.
Yeah, that's right. He tells me that. But I mean, him and the Hayden really helped out with the whole recruitment aspect of that. And I've been close with them for a little while. So went up there, toured the place, met the coaches, Coach Victory. Awesome people up there.
Great coach name. Coach Victory is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Great name.
Richard's watching.
Oh, there I saw that. Yeah, Coach Huckey as well, and now we got Coach Carone. He's a new guy. I've only met him one time so far, but yeah, I'm super pumped to go up there. Definitely going to be a learning experience. Just kind of do what I can, but I mean, it's definitely a really, really nice feeling. Getting the point where you're signed and you don't got to worry about all that anymore, and that aspect of it.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful place too. Brevard is like a top 5 place in the world for me.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. The weather's great in the summer. I'm gonna be pretty cold in the winter, but
yeah.
The fall's pretty nice too. You'll enjoy the fall season. It's really pretty up there.
Fall's wonderful.
Yeah,
it's really nice up there. But before we let you go, just your overall thoughts on this team, how you guys start, and what you're looking to do as you enjoy this last ride here in 2024 as you look to get yourselves on a nice postseason run.
Yeah, I got high hopes for this year. Like I said, we've grown every single year. Looking back on transferring their sophomore year, I mean, that was kind of a big risk because the program was so small and it was growing. But yeah, I mean, we've gotten to a point. Coach Steve Galitz, y'all know him. I mean, he's done such a good job growing the program, getting people excited. It's pretty awesome to see, and I'm feeling pretty good about what we've got and kind of the future of it. And hopefully every year it keeps growing and getting better. That's kind of the goal. Even when I'm gone, I want to be able to come back and see Talon and Jackson, all those younger guys play and be proud that I was part of that. So yeah,
my guy Russ Spencer's coming soon too. He's going to be an absolute animal. He's unbelievable. Russell Spencer.
Yeah.
You know that little guy?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Not a little guy anymore.
He's a tank.
He's way bigger than me. Yeah.
He's huge.
Yeah, he's
been wearing a bigger uniform size than me for a couple years now. Like since
he'll be a beast. He'll be a beast on the football field too.
Oh yeah. Like NFL nose guard kind of feet. Like that dude, he's unreal. But you're getting some nice shout outs. Last night's star of the show, Jackson Bybee, says you're killing it. And then Hayden coming through with the tornado, which also sort of looks like a white squirrel if you squint. Which is the other thing Brevard's known for. So all kinds of good shout outs. You brought quite the audience. You didn't quite make it to Bybee numbers, but you brought quite the audience. So bravo, Ross. Good work, man.
Chat with Tan and all that minute. So
you getting blown up? One last thing before you go, Bluffton with the home and home sweep of Beaufort. That got my attention. I know you and Miles are buddies, right? He threw a gym the other night, and then Martucci with a gym tonight.
Yeah, me and Nico played together a while back.
Okay.
He's a dog for sure.
Yeah,
He's
he is.
good.
Yeah. Yeah,
Buford's got some
that's
guys
nice
too.
breed for them. They
But yeah,
do.
that is big. And Evan Roberts, I just recently played a little bit of travel ball with him. So yeah,
Okay.
they got some guys for sure.
Right on, man. Well, we
Yeah.
appreciate you hopping on with us tonight. Congrats on
Yep.
all the success and the latest no hitter. And we'll be keeping tabs, and we'll get you back in here if we need to real soon.
Yeah, man.
All
Appreciate
right,
y'all.
take care, Ross. See
See
ya,
ya.
man. Later.
Good night.
Good stuff with Ross Putnam. I've watched him grow up at the ballpark, and he's a grown man now, doing big things. So good stuff. I'm really excited for him to get the chance at Brevard. Hayden's had a good experience there, and I'm glad that they got that little pipeline going. So good
It's a
stuff
really
with
nice
Ross.
area. It's
Yeah,
really pretty over there.
unbelievable. Oh, the number of times we dreamed about moving up that way before we
Yeah.
had kids. I mean, every time we
I'll
went
tell
up
you
there
what,
and
I
hiked
love being
the
around. I
waterfalls.
love being Yeah, I love being around the island and here in the Low Country. But man, I have a soft spot for the mountainous areas of the Blue Ridge of North Carolina and South Carolina. And I always love going up there and
Me too.
hiking, and just a really relaxing experience. So that's a really cool place
Me
to
too.
play your college baseball for 4 years. There's a ton of
Heck
really
yeah.
nice schools. Appalachian State's another one up in Boone, North
Yeah.
Carolina. It's a really nice area. So many
Beautiful
others
place.
around the state.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, find your place. I mean, that's what it's all
Yeah.
about. And hopefully that's the place for Ross,
No
and he
matter
has
no
a
matter
great
what
career there.
yeah.
The
AIA,
dude can
D2,
pitch.
I
I'll
mean,
tell you that. Dude can pitch, and he keeps
yeah,
getting better.
and yeah, I mean, I just remember covering AIA baseball when USP was there before they went to D2, and there's some talented players everywhere. If you put it together, you get a
Better
shot
believe it.
to make it. But isn't the draft shrinking in terms of number of rounds from what I've heard, the Major League Baseball
Yeah.
draft?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has. It has shrunk, which is, not great, but there's still going to be opportunities. I think there's,
Sure.
if the number of basically affiliated minor leaguers falls, then I think they'll just that'll kind of that vacuum will be filled by like independent leagues, and there'll be other
Right.
opportunities. Something will step into it, because and like the Savannah Bananas, like who knows what's going
Yeah.
on there, but it seems like they may be trying to launch like a nationwide league with like franchises and stuff at some point.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's kind of where I
That's the
see
next
it
step.
headed.
Yeah.
So that's another way to get paid to play baseball,
Yeah.
and
And it's a really
something to be said for that.
we talked to Eric Jones last summer, and man, that was one of the
Yeah,
best interviews that we've had. I mean, just to
yeah, it was
recount his
great.
story and all that banana ball entails and how fun it's been.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like
he's phenomenal.
it's just like you're having
It's
fun
wild stuff,
every
man.
day,
It's
and
wild stuff.
it's a really unique experience. So that's really cool, and
Yeah.
someone I've got to know for a number of years, just at the college level, and then he was trying to find his way in. I think he was with the Mariners or some other pro sports
Right.
Major League Baseball organization, and
Yeah.
sometimes it just doesn't work out. And he was around during COVID, and everything about that period was difficult. But what a great opportunity opened up for him, and I'm glad that he's taking advantage of it. He was their home run leader last year over with
Yeah.
the Savannah Bananas team.
And the
So,
catcher. That's pretty good.
yeah.
Yeah, that was a great interview. We'll have to dig
Yeah.
that up and post it out, because that was a good one. That was on the Loco Diamond Dudes, which we're looking for sponsors for that show. If you'd like to get it on the air again, get our buddy Butch
Lowco
Mullis
FC
back
as
on
well.
here talking baseball. Loco FC also needs sponsors. And speaking of sponsors, the MVP sponsors of Lowco Sports start with my wife, Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of Lowco Sports. She's with Anchor Home Group of Keller Williams of the Lowcountry, and she would love to help you find your place in the Loco and put down an anchor in the best place. So if you want to get into the real estate market here in the Lowcountry, call on Megan Jarrett, my wife, and the official realtor of Lowco Sports. The official home inspectors of Lowco Sports are homegrown home inspections. Jan Lucas and his team are the best in the biz in the Loco, and they will check that house over from top to bottom to make sure you're making a great investment. And if you're building a new home, you definitely want to have a phased inspection from Homegrown Home Inspections, so they can keep tabs every step of the way and you could move in with peace of mind. Homegrown home inspections. Mickelson Law Firm, the official real estate closing attorneys of Lowco Sports and our original sponsors since 2017, presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage. And we love Ryan and Tiffany and the Mickle squad. So call on Mickelson Law Firm for all your legal needs. And Hospice Care, the Lowcountry official hospice care provider of Lowco Sports and the only not-for-profit hospice care in Southern Beaufort County. They provide many services, not just hospice care, but also palliative care, free grief counseling, all kinds of services. And they do it all without coming out of pocket, because at Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, it's not about dying, it's about living. Those are MVP sponsors. Wes, we had some golf going on around the last couple of days. Yesterday, we do have the final results now, and it was at Donnybrook at the top in the Lowcountry Invitational. Ended up with AC Flora taking the title by 1 shot over Heritage Academy, 2 shots over Hilton Head Prep, and then Hilton Head Christian was 2 more shots back. So local teams went 2, 3, 4, coming up just short. But we got the individual champ, Sage Bradshaw, followed up his 69 with a 70. So he finished at 139, 5 shots ahead of Michael Gavin from Heritage, who was second. So really solid results from those teams. And then today it looks like most of the guys who played in that event took the day off. JP2 ended up winning a match at Berkeley Hall by a couple of shots, by 2 shots over Hilton Head Christian. But I don't think Hilton Head Christian played their whole lineup, but I'm not positive about that. Hayes Etheridge and Philip Court shot 36 for HHCA to share medalist honors. And then the big golf event that was going on the island this week, the big one, the one that was on the Golf Channel, was the Darius Rucker Intercollegiate, and our friend Marcus Walsh from WHHI was out there. So we'll welcome him in now to give us a report from Long Cove, where I was watching the finale today. I saw Arizona State take the title, went right down to the wire. Northwestern was right there in the mix. There were like 4 or 5 players who ended up tied for the individual title. Tell us about it, Marcus. So you were out there, right?
Yeah, there were 4. Justin, I was. Maria Soden and I were out there for a few hours to wrap things up today. We were out there from about 3:30 to 6:30 when everything concluded. Jennifer Kai was one of those 4 players from Northwestern, and Northwestern finished second, by the way. To have 4 individual players, take home hardware, very, very cool. The other 3,
guitars, right? Don't they get guitars?
Yeah, they get the
trophies, that are signed by Darius Rucker. Guitars, and obviously the winning team gets an actual guitar that is signed by Darius Rucker. Farrah O'Keefe was another winner from Texas. Hannah Darling from USC ended up taking one of those spots. And then Julia Lopez Ramirez from Mississippi State was the 4th player to take one of those top 4 spots. Julia Lopez Ramirez and Hannah Darling were both interviewed, courtesy of the Golf Channel. Farrah O'Keefe and company, did a great job too. Additionally, I actually had a chance, and Jennifer Kai, of course, I mentioned, she did a great job and is the leader of that Northwestern team that, again, finished second. Yeah. I had a chance to talk to Grace Summerhays after the win for Arizona State, and then I also talked to Rob Ryan, the tournament chair, as well as a couple of players from Wake Forest who were the winners of this tournament in the team competition a couple of years ago. And those players were Macy Pate, I hope I pronounced that right, or Macy Pate, and Ann Sturdendunnen. I was able to talk to both of them, and I believe, is that Lingblad that I see up there right now?
I believe that is, yes.
From LSU. Yeah. And she is very good. Yes,
Lingblad.
And she's very good
These
as well.
Highlights courtesy of the Golf Channel on YouTube, by the way.
There's Hannah
courtesy
Darling.
Of the internet.
She did a great job all 3 days. And I've covered this event. They did not play in 2021, I think, still coming off of COVID. But I've covered this event for the last several years for WHHI, and it will be seen tomorrow on tomorrow's edition of the news, which will air every hour and a half. So it ends at 5:30, it airs at 7, and it continues through the rotation until Friday at 5. So you're going to see lots of time to check that out starting tomorrow at 5 p.m. And the one thing that just impresses me so much, and I've had a chance to talk to Rob Ryan over the years, I've had a chance to talk to Bob Patton over the years, and I've had a chance to talk to several players. The one thing that really impresses me so much is their attitudes never change. You can bet your bottom dollar that during this tournament and during Heritage Week, and you guys know it too, there's going to be at least one day where the weather's not great. And it just so happened that the weather for this tournament, the bad weather day, was actually, for the most part, when they weren't playing. It was last night and into this morning. Torrential rains came down to where I was at the WHHI studios earlier doing some work and thinking to myself, are they going to have to push this stuff back because of the rain and whatnot? It didn't seem like they missed much of a beat. I mean, the tournament was finished, I think, about 5:30 on the dot. And so
the trains run on time when you're on TV.
Yeah.
You never know.
Unbelievable. I do
you never know.
No, we dodged the bullet with the weather all the way around. Coming overnight, it really just made the course soft for them today. They were able to go after it.
And I do want to mention as well, along with Arizona State and Northwestern, Auburn and South Carolina finished in the top 4. That's 1 through 4 in this tournament. So that's the 4 top spots. And I even talked to Rob about it, just in terms of what the course is like and how different it is because of the fact that, we play on Bermuda grass here, and other schools like Arizona State and some of those other schools out west play on different surfaces, grass, of course, but different types of grass, which is really
the one that really gets, because Bermuda grass greens are weird to read, so they're different to read. So people who haven't played on them a lot can really struggle on them. Definitely.
Yeah, it's
for a while there. Everybody here went away from Bermuda and went to Bent, but people are going back to Bermuda now.
And that's the other one that, now that you mention it, JJ, that's the other type of grass that Rob was talking about. So it's just amazing how these athletes are able to just get ready for an event. Every time I talk to Rob or Bob or any of these golfers, they have nothing but great things to say about our area and about the hospitality. And in terms of Long Cove Club as a whole, they're always great with me and whomever I have with me.
We had a
big time shout out.
Phenomenal golf course too.
Yeah, we had a high school event last year. I think it's a roving event, but last year we had one of the rounds at Long Cove, and I mean, just an absolutely gorgeous. So I love the celebration there. When they clinched the title there at the end.
I always love seeing 2 teams come back, and Mississippi State was one of those teams.
That was Northwestern. There's the champs right there.
Right.
Arizona State. Yep.
The amount.
Yeah, but they were celebrating because she gave them a chance to win it at that point. But then Summer Hayes.
Yep.
And she gave herself a share of the medalist honors, I believe.
That's right. Yeah. Awesome stuff.
The other great thing that I find, especially being from the state of Ohio, that was great, even though they didn't play very well, and I did address this with Rob, is that the Ohio State University, as we like to call them, they ended up coming down for this tournament, and they finished near the bottom this year. But for them to get back, or for them to get to this tournament, and for a bunch of schools from all over the country to come to this tournament, whether it's a couple of schools out of the Big 12, Texas and Baylor, a couple of schools out of the Pac-12, your winner, Arizona State, able to get it done out of the Pac-12, predominantly, of course, because of the area that it's at, the area that we are in. This is an ACC SEC tournament for the most part. And Kentucky and Auburn, Alabama, of course, South Carolina, this year again with a top 4 finish. They predominantly do really well. Duke, does really well in this tournament year in and year out. But to see the ability of a team like Baylor, a team like Texas, a team like Arizona State, Oregon was there as well this week. And then you put
Pac-12,
some others in there.
Pac-12 coming out.
Not going to be the same.
Exactly.
It's not be the Pac-12 anymore.
And it was funny because the coach was even talking about Arizona State's head coach was talking in her remarks after being introduced by Bob Patton and all. It's great to finally win one of these. We've been so close. I obviously had a chance again to talk to Grace. She was great. And then the coach said, as long as you'll have us back, we'll definitely come back because the amenities were just tremendous and whatnot. Everybody was raving about the food and whatnot as well. And I mean, Bob didn't even miss a chance. He said, yeah, we'll have you back for sure. You're the reigning champs. Last year, LSU ended up, I think, finishing maybe in second. I think South Carolina win it last year? I'm losing track.
That sounds right to me, but I can't.
And I think
can't remember.
I think
I can't remember what I had for lunch.
I was talking about Ingblatt. I think she won the individual last year, but I think South Carolina won. I know 2 years ago. I believe that.
I thought I heard him say on the broadcast that she hadn't won this tournament yet. Lindblad. She had like 13 career victories, but she hadn't won this one yet. So
that
I think I thought I heard that.
That could be right. I know Wake Forest had won 2 years ago, and they've had some really good players. I think they've had a player or two win the individual as well. It's just a great tournament to go cover, and it's a lot of fun. The environment's great. I've been able, not only have I been able to cover it for so many years, but I've had a plethora of different reporters. Well, I should say I'm reporting. I've had a plethora of different camera people come out with me. Again, Maria was out with me today and a couple of years ago, but a bunch of our WHHI staff has been out with me over the years. And it's a thrill. It's one of my favorite events to cover throughout the year. I talk about football and basketball so much, obviously, and I love doing that because I'm calling the action. But in terms of kind of getting a different look at another sport, this is great. And it was a great showing this week. The weather held out, and to see a little bit of the action. And I've never covered a Wednesday afternoon into the presentation of the trophies. That was very cool too, to see Darius Rucker up close and personal and see the atmosphere and environment, and just a great job done by Long Cove Club and a great job done by all that were in attendance. And it was really cool to see it up close and personal and to see really what this meant to everybody.
It's a premier golf event, and really is one of the kickoffs of golf season. And while you're on, Marcus, while we're talking about golf, we're almost a month away from this new look RB Series. It's going to be a little different this year. A smaller field, no cut, but still the same kind of level of excitement. So I just want to hear your thoughts on about the future of this tournament and what you expect to see from, kind of a different format, if you will, for this year with a limited field, a smaller field, but still we expect to see a good amount of some of the top golfers in the globe.
Yeah, for sure. I tell you what, guys, you figure it's going to be a little bit of a smaller field anyway because of the separation that LIV has had with the PGA Tour, and over the last year, even more golfers going over to LIV. But with the fact that this is as close, especially for our area, as close to a major as you can get without it actually being a major. A lot of people say the same thing about, I think it's the Arnold Palmer Invitational.
Yeah, I think the Players Championship.
Well, and the Players Championship.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's coming up. So, this is right there with it, and I really like the idea of, obviously the smaller field's going to happen, as I just said, but to have it without a cut, I think is really good. Yeah. I think it's going to help, bring the golfers to the area, and it will help showcase this area even more than this tournament already does. And this week that we have in April is part golf, of course, but it is part, business venture. It's part party on Hilton Head because everybody comes out for it. I actually haven't been there myself in years, but I used to go out and check all the bus DVDs and whatnot for stuff with WHHI. I used to, see some of the action after my work shifts and whatnot, and I have to get back out there. I'd really like to try to get out there this year if I can. But
we got to drag you out there this year.
It's going to be great. It is going to be just terrific to see all of these guys go at it. And I really liked the idea of not having the cut, as I just said. I think it's going to increase the competition level, which is always at a prime high, for sure. And I know there's going to be some new wrinkles and whatnot. Steve Wilmot and his crew are working round the clock. And when I mean round the clock, it's probably at least 362 days a year. Maybe he takes off for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Day. But I think other than that, he's working.
Pretty close.
Like Santa Claus.
He's working to get it bigger and better than the year before. It doesn't matter what the year is. I mean, we thought that, the 50th is going to be bigger and better. And obviously COVID had something to do with that afterwards. But it's, football and basketball are officially over. You guys certainly talk baseball and a bunch of other spring sports.
Everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that as well comes golf within high school and college and with the the pros as well. And we're just so lucky and blessed to have it here on our little gem of an island called Hilton Head.
Yeah, man, we got some great golf here. Well, we appreciate you, man, and glad you enjoyed yourself out at the DRI, and we'll see you real soon.
Yeah. Sounds good, guys. You guys have a great one.
Take care, buddy. Marcus Walsh, WHHI, reporting on the Darius Rucker Intercollegiate. We also had a men's tournament in the area that just wrapped up at Colleton River, the Colleton River Intercollegiate. Michigan State, the host of that one every year. And Georgia Southern took the title, 2-shot win over Chattanooga, with Rutgers in third, Kansas State, Michigan State, Minnesota, Mizzou, Memphis, Indiana, Cincinnati, Iowa State, Middle Tennessee, Howard, Penn State. Penn State coming in last.
A lot of Midwestern.
It's crazy to think about sometimes how many college kids pass through here every year just to play either tennis or golf.
Especially spring break tennis, which is in full bloom right now around the
spring break tennis is wild.
Yeah,
it is wild. It just takes on a life of its own. It's it's just going on incessantly everywhere. You can see some really good players if you kind of know what you're looking for, but it's hard to know what you're looking for. But if you find somebody who knows, they can tell you hey, if you go here at 2:00, you're going to see an amazing tennis player. It's kind of cool. But let's shout out some varsity sponsors. We've got DDS Web Design, building, hosting, and maintaining websites for businesses and nonprofits to get results. So if you need to get found online so you can do more and think bigger, call on DDS Web Design at ddshhi.com. The Parker Law Group, serving legal needs across Colleton, Hampton, and Jasper counties. They've been doing that for years, and they've been supporting us this year, helping us continue to expand our coverage in those counties and shine a light on more deserving teams and student athletes around the Lowco. Dr. Ambrose Cole is the official chiropractor of Lowco Sports. He's over at Rooted Living Wellness. So go over there to see Dr. Ambrose if you want to get feeling right, mind, body, and spirit. He even made the official realtor of Lowco Sports a believer in chiropractic care. That's how good he is. And Reverence Wrestling Club, the official wrestling sponsor of Lowco Sports and the presenting sponsor of the Lowco Grind, our wrestling podcast. Always looking for more sponsors for that, especially on the MMA side. If you know anybody who wants to support coverage of local MMA and combat sports, we'd love to fire that thing back up and roll that into it. So Reverence Wrestling Club, love their support. Love everything they're doing for youth wrestling in the Lowco. Just incredible people over there. But Wes, let's get a little bit more into tonight's results because we've kind of just skimmed through them. We had some good guests tonight. But Benedictine beats May River 3-2. Young man named McCoy was dealing for Benedictine, 9 Ks over 5 innings, 2 hit ball. May River didn't play bad. They just lost by 1. Micah Morgan, 3 really good innings in relief for May River. Schroeder had a double. Bluffton, though, finishes the sweep 6-4 over Beaufort. Nico Martucci, complete game, 5 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 3 walks, 6 Ks. Ryan Gohl was 2 for 3 with a walk. Tyler Wolf, 2 for 4 with a double and a run, 2 RBIs. He's been swinging a hot bat. And Tooch helped himself at the plate, 1 for 4 with a run and an RBI. So, Beaufort's 2-2 with the 2 losses to Bluffton. They had 2 nice wins at Sandlapper. I think they're going to be fine. They made 7 errors tonight, so obviously they got to clean that up. But I think that team is going to be okay. They'll right themselves.
Yeah. I mean, at least get them out of your system now. When you're talking about picking up those errors, you want to see them late in the season. So, hopefully you can find a way to kick away that trend. But solid effort against Bluffton. Jaden Andrews, one of the stars of that football team, with a nice double, drove in 2 runs. Hudson Muller, Tucker, Michael McKell. McKell 2 for 3 days. So Beaufort's got a couple of strong pieces on that team. They lost a little bit from what they had a year ago. They had a couple of tough ones, in terms of players that move on to the next level. But they got a good core. They're coming back, and that's always a team that finds a way to put it on once you get to the playoff season. And they know the battle. It seems like they always go further than anticipated. So I expect them to really round to the form as the season goes on and really into region play. But nice swoop there for Bluffton. That's never easy.
Yeah, I'm excited about that region.
Yeah.
That region's going to be fun. Beaufort is a baseball town. Yeah, I would generally agree with that.
James
it's coming
Island
back. It's coming back.
James Island seems to always be the team to beat.
James Island will be stacked again. They're loaded. But May River's pretty solid and on some nights could be spectacular. Bluffton is solid and on some nights can be spectacular, especially both those guys, Fry and Martucci, both they can shut you down on any given night. And they can go the distance. Not everybody has somebody who can go all 7 and shut you down. And then Hilton Head is sneaky good, maybe not even sneaky good. Like they're going to be good too. And Carleton's always tough too. So I just think it's going to be Lucy Beckham gets better every year. Varner, you go up against Varner, you got a chance of getting shut out. It's just that's the deal. So there's going to be some really, really good battles in that league. It's going to be fun to watch.
I'm pumped to get into region play, which we'll get there before you know it. But I'm pumped for tomorrow. Actually, a lot going on tomorrow. We got a nice little baseball / softball triple header because I'll be heading to Shark Park for softball against Lisa McRae, and I'm excited.
Holding up. I presume it is. We didn't get as much rain today as I thought we were going to. It came overnight, so hopefully the field dried out good.
I think we should be in good shape. Haven't heard anything, so I assume we're still good for tomorrow for softball.
That should be a good day. Good day.
Yeah, noon start, and then I'm excited to see that team rake because Annie Reynolds, coming off your Player of the Week honors for the Peach Belt, and especially see some of those other players like Weller, even Goodwin, and they've got guys who can come alive.
Stevens,
I mean, look at the bottom of Stevens and Whitlock. Yep. So they really got loaded.
Simmons and Whitlock are fun too. I love them at the bottom of the order because they wreak havoc, and then you get a couple of people on base and get your big boppers up there, and I like the way that lineup's coming together. It's going to be a really fun team to follow this year. I hope they continue to have success.
Tough one. I mean, you just wish 1-5 is a tough way to start Peach Belt play, even though they were in so many games. But I think those schedules should get a little easier for them, and hopefully they will pick up some sweeps and get themselves back in it because
that's what they need.
As long as you're in the top 8, you'll be able to. I know baseball is top 8. I assume softball is too. in terms of the conference tournament. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, I'm excited. Non-conference game, but still, very exciting. And I expect USCB to have a good shot at taking both of those. Just 5-9 is Lisa Cray, and the way that Buford USCB swinging the bat, they can rack up the runs. If they're on, they can really hurt you. So, and they got some solid pitching with Kinlaw leading the way, and then Ramirez, who was a dog in that last series. So I'm pumped for USCB, and then we'll head back to the island because we're a nice marquee high school matchup on the baseball field between HHGA, Hilton Christian Academy, and Hilton Seahawks. That could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's. I'm eager to see who's pitching. We speculated that Cody Brott might be on the mound for Hilton and Christian, which would be fun. He's seen those guys before. They've seen him before at Bluffton. So that'd be a good matchup. I would think, Hilton should be pretty fully stocked. They didn't have to use Slater was all they used the other night.
Right.
So they got everybody at their disposal. So they may piggyback, Gregory and Wendell again, which is pretty good one too. Glenn Gregory, he's pretty good when he's on. He's pretty solid, and Wendell he's a horse. He'll give you whatever he's got. So that's a fun matchup. I definitely look forward to seeing what goes down there. I got middle school baseball tomorrow, but we can't play after dark, so I may be able to make it out. Little lacrosse action tonight on Buford's own. I caught a little of it. Here's a quick goal for you. May River takes the dub tonight, 10-4 over Buford, and Javon and Thomas Erdell were on the call, trying to sounded like they were trying to understand what was going on in lacrosse for the most part. They were having a good time though. And then I got a shout out here. We're going to get into shout outs in a little bit. So I'll save that for my shout outs. But
let's pivot back to the start of the show, because we mentioned talk about Janiyah Hayward, but we also have some other news on the basketball front. High school basketball.
Well, we got some Janiyah Hayward highlights if you want to talk about that for about a minute. You talked about it a little bit earlier, but she's the kid that just kind of did whatever they needed them to do, and she was the one who, when they needed a bucket, she wanted to go get it. I think Primo grew into that a little bit more.
Really versatile player.
But Hayward
we saw
was
her
kind
all
of the
over
go-to.
Floor. Yeah, the player in the middle that did a great job distributing the ball, finding teammates for good looks, and always being the centerpiece of what USCB was trying to do on offense, and then locking in when she needed to defensively, and picking up some steals on that end of the floor. But she's got a nice little jumper right there. Just a good IQ player, and that's everything you want as a freshman. A versatile playmaker who was really able to help set the tone for what the Sand Sharks were trying to accomplish. And when she was on her game, it kind of fed through the rest of the team as well. You got some great ball distributors, her and Bartle, and then Michaela Primo, just a shot maker. And I really like how the offense started to flow and how they just really able to grasp what they were doing and what Sharon Verse was preaching to them. And it just looked really seamless those last few games. Certainly, those final two losses on the road were difficult, but both tough games. But yeah, that's incredible stuff. Not just one, but two freshmen of the year, Marcus Overstreet and Janiyah Hayward. So what a way to kick off this new basketball program here at USCB, and I expect a lot more accolades coming in the future out of this program. So what a fantastic way to start off what I think is going to be a heck of a run these next few years with Versup and Fudala at the head of these programs. So I'm just so impressed by both of them, and just the entire experience was incredible, and great to see them earn some well-earned recognition to put a bow on it.
Yeah, man. And as you were saying, some high school news as well. Kayvon Chisholm from Hampton County on the boys roster, and Jelena Mosley from Bluffton on the girls roster for the North-South All-Star game. So one last chance for those two. Kayvon's going to play football at South Carolina State.
Jelena, that's a great
Jelena's future plans, but that's one more chance for her to showcase what she can do. Yeah,
that's really well deserved. Obviously, Kayvon was expected, but good for Jelena because, my goodness, she was everything for that Bluffton team, just dominant, picking up rebounds, and she really found a nice knack for scoring as well, and even better defender. I mean, she was blocking shots left and right, and just does a great job of going up on her opponent and forcing misses and just playing really smart and tough defense, and did so many little things really well for Bluffton, especially as her senior year. So excited to see what she does in this opportunity, and we'll see where that takes her going forward. But no matter what happens next, putting on her for her, and what a way to finish off her career, because one of the best unsung heroes. I mean, it was never the star because that was Hayward and Myra Brown, but she really did it all, and just that's one of those things you just love to see is those players who may have slipped a little bit off. They were always on our radar, but just the statewide radar, and to be able to pick her up and give her this opportunity is really cool.
Yeah, man. Good stuff. The Lowco Booster Club helps make this all possible. We've got the Court Lifestyle Pros, Lowcountry natives Daniel and Debbie Court. They want to bring you home to Hilton Head Island. They're with Charter One Realty, so get calling the Court Lifestyle Pros. Revive Rehab, women's health and pelvic floor physical therapy. Dr. Ali and Dr. Jen got you covered in your postpartum time. Or if you have friends that are having babies, get them a gift card to Revive Rehab. Let them go see the doctors. Eagle Creations has great promotional items and custom apparel, as well as custom gift baskets. And they have a phenomenal showroom over on Argent Boulevard. You can go check it out and see what they can do for you at Eagle Creations. Jay's Barbershop is the place to be, whether you need a haircut or not. You got to go to Jay's Barbershop in downtown Ridgeland to get some great conversation and come out looking stylish at Jay's Barbershop. Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry, Chris Odom will get your floors so clean, your feet will thank you. And he's a great guy to boot. And and then Prime IV Hydration and Wellness. Go see Max and the team over at Belfair Town Village to get juiced up. So that's the Lowco Booster Club. Always looking for more sponsors here to support our grassroots local sports coverage, celebrating teams and student athletes in the Lowco. And speaking of that, shout out time. I've got one queued up, but I don't think you're going to steal this one. So go ahead. What do you got?
Yeah. For tonight, obviously not as many to choose from for this show. I'm gonna go Nico Martucci for what he did for that Bluffton team, going the distance, 7 innings pitched, 6 strikeouts. Certainly had some adversity along the way, but he was really, really solid for the most part for Bluffton, and helped guide the Bobcats to a well-earned victory over Buford. And as I said before, never easy to take down the Eagle squad. So want to give him a shout out, and as well for both Ryan Gall and Tyler Wolf for some nice showings at the plate to compliment and give some run support for Martucci. So I'll go with some of those Bluffton baseball players here tonight. Not as many stuff going on, but give props to Bluffton baseball.
A lot of stuff got rescheduled to tomorrow. A lot of the baseball games got moved to tomorrow or Friday because fields were still soggy. Here's a knock from Tooch off Mom's Facebook. So there's Tooch's knock tonight, and he pitched exceptionally well. So good stuff from that young man. Your shout out. I have one that from last night. We're going to go back to last night because we mentioned it, but didn't really get into it because we didn't have any details. But Bluffton girls taking down Buford in penalties last night, 5-4. That means there was only one stop made in the shootout, and we got it courtesy of Buford's own. We have Alexa J. Smith with the
save there for the
and he is gonna bury the clincher.
Yeah, that was the difference right there. Yeah, if you can find a way to stop one or two of those penalties, that gives you a great chance. You don't expect yourselves to save all of them, but if you can save one and your team is able to do the rest by converting their PKs. It gives you the opportunity to win, then finish it off on the other end with the Bobcats to win it. But yeah, I mean, it's goalkeeping is very difficult to shoot up because you really got to guess the right way and anticipate the shot, and you have to have really good reaction times. And sometimes you get lucky, and normally when you're a good goalkeeper, you tend to do well in them just because you have that mentality that you need to make some clutch saves when your team needs it. So those are always fun to cover.
She's just a sophomore too, so she's a it sounds like she's a good one and just a sophomore.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. Yeah, they'll get her for a couple more years. But
always
her little brother
important
too. Watch out.
Yeah.
Watch out for her little brother in a couple of years. He's a little dude on the baseball diamond, big, strong kid. He's a good athlete, so good family.
Yeah, great start for Bluffton. We talk about baseball, then both soccer teams have been impressive early on. So I like what I've seen out there from Bobcats and a couple of these other local squads as well. But it's going to start to get a lot more intense because I think Reach and Play is going to start in just 2 days. We've already started for lacrosse, but soccer. Friday night soccer is going to be live in just a couple more days. We've got Maryville Hilton Head girls and some other strong matchups. So
and every game is huge. Really almost every game is huge because it's so competitive and there's so much parity. So it's like you don't get a couple games to get in the rhythm. You need to get results from the start and. Gonna be fun. Things are heating up. Should be a great time. All kinds of stuff on tap tomorrow night. We'll be back tomorrow night to round it all up for you here on the Lowco Sports Lowdown, and we'll try to find a great guest. We'll have a tough time topping the last couple nights with Jackson Bybee and Ross Putnam. They were both absolutely terrific, but we'll see who we can round up for tomorrow, as long as you guys promise to come along and watch. But great viewership again tonight, Wes. We're getting over the hump here. So tell your friends about the Lowco Sports Lowdown. Thanks so much to Ross Putnam for coming on to tell us about the no-no. Great talk with him. Really enjoyed it, and always love talking ball, man. I could talk baseball all day long. So if you have a sponsor for the Lowco Diamond Dudes so we can talk some more ball, let us know. We'd love to talk with them and see if we can put together something that works for everybody. And thanks as well to Marcus Walsh for jumping on to talk golf with us and fill us in on the Darius Rucker Invitational or Intercollegiate. And then also thanks to our sponsors and to you who showed up to listen and watch. That's going to do it for tonight. Great times as always. Enjoyed it, Wes. For Wes Kerr, I'm Justin Jarrett. We'll see you tomorrow night. Until then, go Lowco.
The Lowco Sports Lowdown podcast is a production of Lowco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Lowco.